Hi, thanks for being here. This piece originally appeared in the Los Angeles Times opinion section, and believe me, nobody was more shocked than I was. It's called What a Quail Taught Me About Grief by Joining a Flock of Turkeys. It's dusk, and the 6-year anniversary of my mother's death of cancer, a death that really marked the end of my biological family. I want to text my friend Margot, who lost her dad to AIDS decades before, and ask, how do we survive this most heinous of losses? Bestie, how do we keep moving forward? And then I look out the window of my little red cottage with the Doug firs and the white oaks overhead, and I see the neighborhood gang of feral turkeys making their way up the street. They're headed to the hill they use as a runway for their flight up into the trees where they roost for the night. They are spectacular. 3 males in full mating regalia, blue and red heads gleaming in the sunset as the 3 drab females step serenely behind them. But this evening, I'm transfixed by the tiny bird trailing them, a single female quail. "Jonathan!" I holler to my husband, and he walks out to the porch to confirm the quail. Is she part of the flock, I wonder? How? As they have every evening for years, each turkey takes a running start, then sails over our heads like pterodactyls above our neighbors' Subarus and garbage cans, landing on branches hundreds of feet in the air. The quail waits until the turkeys have roosted. Then she, without fanfare, levitates gently up into the air and lands on a branch of oak. Jonathan and I have seen this quail before. She's been sitting on a neighbor's rooftop, and we've heard her calls. Now, birders say that the quail's call sounds like, "Chicago, Chicago." My husband disagrees. He thinks that the quail sounds like she's been calling, "Over here, over here." She's lost her flock, he concludes. For years, a covey of quail graced our neighborhood. They lived in the blackberry thicket by the road and roamed our yards in a tiny burbling gang with top-knot feathers bobbing as they snacked on seeds and insects. But this year, they're gone. I realize with a sickening sadness that Jonathan's right. This quail has misplaced her comrades. For one reason or another, they vanished and she's been left alone. I set my alarm for turkey roosting time. The next evening, on schedule, the flock struts up the street, the males with their flight feathers outstretched, making dramatic hissing sounds on the asphalt, the females stopping to browse the neighbor's rhododendrons. The quail runs on her tiny legs to keep up. Again, she waits for the turkeys to roost and then levitates into her oak for the night. Wildly curious, I take to social media. What is happening with this quail? I ask a regional birding group on Facebook, including a photo of her with the turkeys. Answers run from the scientific to the hilarious. One man explains that the quail and the turkeys represent the smaller and larger forms of Galliformis, landfowl that feed on the ground and travel in groups for protection. Someone else writes, "My interpretation of your photo is that the quail is rich and has hired some muscle birds from protection against kidnapping." One woman says we need a limerick or a haiku to make sense of what we're seeing. Another woman promptly replies, "A lone quail wanders. In the hills she spies turkeys. She's found her husbands." Driving home the next week with a car full of groceries and a heart full of grief for my dead mom, I spot the turkeys one street over from mine without the quail. My heart sinks. And then there she is, trotting out from under the English ivy, racing down the hill towards the turkeys who are just vanishing around the corner. Now, a whole community is invested in the well-being of this quail, who has enough chutzpah to roll with turkeys 25 times her size. Neighbors compare sightings. I post updates on Facebook to enthusiastic response. After I post my latest photo, a member of the birding group comments, "Family, it's more than blood. She has been adopted." The birder's words make me think of courage, of resiliency, how we always have the option, once our initial morning is spent, of setting out on our spindly little legs to find a new covey, a substitute for the one that has vanished. It's not ideal, but it's something. It might even bring us joy. I want to perch on my own rooftop and yell, "Over here, over here," into the void my mother left. Then maybe, if I'm lucky, a passing flock will find me, offering protection and camaraderie and the inspiration to keep moving forward. Thank you.